Welcome back to Dreams of Gravity, a serene haven where the cosmos unfolds like a gentle dream to cradle you into rest. If you're here now, I softly encourage you to find your most comfortable position, perhaps easing onto a soft bed or cushion, letting your limbs grow heavy and your shoulders melt away any lingering tension. Breathe in the quiet of the evening, out with the day's whispers, and allow these words to flow over you like starlight on still water. Tonight, we return to our tranquil exploration of why the universe might hide something faster than light, weaving it all into a seamless story, rich with the poetry of the stars. Let the narrative carry you deeper into relaxation, where the boundaries of space and sleep blur softly, expanding now into even quieter depths as we linger longer in the cosmos's embrace, allowing each wonder to unfold with the patience of a midnight sky, drawing us further into its meditative rhythms, where every revelation feels like a shared secret under the dome of eternity, and the vastness invites us to settle into its timeless hush, as if the stars themselves are exhaling in unison with your slowing pulse, guiding us toward a profound stillness that echoes the quiet expansion of the universe itself, a subtle harmony that resonates with the soft cadence of your own settling thoughts, weaving the fabric of night into a tapestry of cosmic repose, where the gentle pull of gravity feels like an old companion, easing you into the night's welcoming arms, and the distant hum of celestial motions lulls like a forgotten melody playing just beyond hearing, while the subtle interplay of light and shadow across the heavens mirrors the easing transition from wakefulness to that welcoming drift, inviting your mind to wander freely, yet anchored in the comforting vastness of it all, as faint cosmic rays trace invisible paths like whispers from forgotten suns, reminding us that even in the deepest quiet, the universe shares its subtle energies, fostering a sense of connection that softens the edges of solitude into shared serenity. Picture the universe as an immense, whispering ocean, its surface shimmering with the light of countless stars, yet holding secrets in its uncharted depths. We begin our voyage on familiar waters, gazing up at the night sky, where stars twinkle like the first thoughts of dawn. These stars are not mere points of light, but the warm hearts of the cosmos, each one a sun born from vast clouds of gas and dust that drift and gather over eons. In our own Milky Way, a grand spiral of billions of stars cradles our world, its arms curving gracefully like the slow inhale of a sleeping giant. Long ago, in nurseries called nebulae, those ethereal veils of color, particles of hydrogen and helium came together, drawn by gravity's tender pull. Gravity, that invisible thread connecting all things, nudged them closer until friction sparked life, igniting balls of fire that have shone steadily for billions of years. Feel this process in your own breath now. A slow drawing in of scattered calm, an exhale that births quiet warmth within. But let's pause here, in the quiet birth of a star, and imagine the journey more fully. Deep within a nebula, the gas cools just enough for tiny grains of dust to form, like the first frost on a winter window, clumping into larger bodies. These protostars spin and flatten, gathering more material in a disk that feeds them steadily, much like a river nourishing a young tree. Over hundreds of thousands of years, the core heats to millions of degrees, fusing hydrogen into helium in a process called nuclear fusion, the very alchemy that powers the light we see. It's a reminder of how the universe builds patiently, layer by layer, turning chaos into enduring glow, just as your evening routine builds toward the peace of sleep. And in this stellar infancy, magnetic fields play their subtle role, twisting and channeling outflows of gas into bipolar jets that carve paths through the surrounding cloud, like rivers etching canyons in soft earth, clearing space for the newborn star to breathe freely. Observations from space telescopes capture these jets, stretching for light years, glowing faintly in radio waves, a testament to the universe's innate drive toward balance, where even the wildest births settle into harmonious orbits. These jets, propelled by the star's magnetic dynamo, can reach speeds of hundreds of kilometers per second, not defying light, but illustrating how stellar winds sculpt the interstellar landscape, compressing nearby gas into new waves of collapse, perpetuating a chain of creation that echoes the steady pulse of life on Earth, where seeds take root in soil prepared by wind and rain, fostering growth in quiet succession. Brown dwarfs, failed stars too small to sustain fusion, linger at the edges of these nurseries, glowing dimly with gravitational contraction heat, like embers that never fully ignite, their presence a gentle nod to the spectrum of possibilities in stellar evolution, reminding us that not every spark leads to blaze, but each contributes to the cosmic hearth's warmth, much as quiet moments in our day build the foundation for profound rest. Variable stars, like RR Lyrae types pulsing every few hours, serve as distance markers across the galaxy, their intrinsic brightness calibrated from models of convective layers bubbling in their atmospheres, a rhythmic variability that maps the Milky Way's structure, evoking the way our heartbeats sync with the night's calm, marking time in the grander scheme without overwhelming the serenity. White dwarfs, the cooled remnants of low-mass stars, orbit companions in binary systems where they siphon material, igniting thermonuclear flashes on their surfaces. Novae that brighten the sky briefly before fading, a recurring renewal that scatters enriched elements outward, much like how a gentle rain refreshes parched earth, allowing new growth to emerge in the softened soil, symbolizing the universe's capacity for quiet resurgence even in apparent endings. Red giants, in their swollen phases, shed outer envelopes through pulsations driven by helium flashes in their cores. These ejections forming circumstellar dust shells that infrared observations reveal as glowing halos, a gradual undressing that prepares the stage for planetary nebulae, akin to how a tree in autumn releases leaves to conserve energy for winter's introspection, revealing the sturdy form beneath in a process of serene transition. Asymptotic giant branch stars, evolving further, experience thermal pulses that dredge up carbon to their surfaces, creating dusty outflows that may form polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, organic molecules detected in interstellar space, a subtle chemistry that hints at the universe's preparatory whispers for life's emergence, much like how a quiet kitchen's aromas precede a comforting meal, nourishing the senses before the feast. Hypergiants, rare behemoths with luminosities thousands of times the sun's, pulse with instability as they approach their ends, their envelopes expanding to engulf nearby companions in common envelopes, an intimate merger that reshapes both into a single, stable form, evoking the way long-shared partnerships evolve through gentle entwinements, emerging stronger in their unified grace. O-type stars, the hottest and most massive, ionize surrounding gas into H2 regions that bubble and expand. Their short lives of a few million years ending in core collapse supernovae that forge iron peaks in their hearts, a brief brilliance that enriches the cosmos with heavy elements. Much like a fleeting conversation that leaves lasting insights, illuminating paths for future journeys. Pulsars, rapidly spinning neutron stars beaming radiation from their magnetic poles, act as cosmic lighthouses, their millisecond rotations stabilized by accretion from companions, a precise ticking that serves as natural clocks for measuring space-time ripples, their steady beams cutting through the dark like a trusted lantern guiding a walker home through fog-shrouded paths, offering reliability in the universe's vast uncertainties. Magnetars, extreme cousins with magnetic fields 1,000,000,000,000 times Earth's, flare sporadically with gamma-ray bursts from crustal quakes, releasing energy in seconds that rivals the sun's lifetime output, yet settling back into quietude, a reminder of how the universe tempers its fiercest expressions with intervals of calm, much like a storm's aftermath, leaving clearer skies for stargazing. Blue stragglers, anomalous bright stars in clusters formed by mergers of companions, defy age expectations by appearing youthful amid elders, their enhanced masses fueling prolonged main-sequence lives, a cosmic rejuvenation that speaks to the universe's allowance for second chances, much like how a renewed friendship breathes fresh vitality into familiar paths. As these stars burn, they shape the worlds around them, planets forming like companions in a cosmic dance. Our solar system emerged from a swirling disk of remnants left by the sun's birth 4.5 billion years past. Earth, a delicate blue marble, orbits in a zone of perfect balance, where liquid water flows and life flourishes under the sun's gentle gaze. Farther out, giants like Jupiter swirl with endless storms, their clouds hiding ices from the dawn of time, while smaller rocks like Mars whisper of ancient rivers long dried. Beyond our home, telescopes reveal exoplanets orbiting alien suns, some wrapped in vast oceans, others scorched by heat or chilled in eternal twilight. These worlds remind us that the universe is a family of endless variety, each planet a story etched in stone and gas, bound by the same laws that hold our own fragile sphere. Consider, for a moment, the quiet migration of these planets in their youth. In the early solar system, gravitational tugs from massive bodies like Jupiter shifted orbits, sending some worlds inward toward the sun's heat and flinging others outward into the cold fringes, where icy comets now wander like forgotten nomads. This grand reshuffling, pieced together from the scars on our moon's surface and the compositions of distant asteroids, speaks to the universe's way of finding harmony through gentle chaos. Much like how a river carves its path, smoothing stones over time until the flow feels effortless. On Earth, we see echoes of this in the tides that rise and fall with the moon's pull, a daily reminder that planetary dances influence even our shores, lulling us with their rhythm as we settle into bed. Extending this dance outward, think of rogue planets, untethered wanderers drifting through interstellar space after ejections from their systems, some as large as Jupiter, surviving on residual heat from their formation or the faint warmth of cosmic rays. These solitary travelers, detected by their gravitational microlensing, brief dimming of background stars as they pass, evoke the quiet independence of thoughts that drift freely in the mind during twilight hours, unbound, yet part of the greater tapestry, hinting at how the universe accommodates even the most isolated souls in its vast companionship. Hot Jupiters, massive gas giants hugging their stars at distances where Earth would vaporize, migrate inward through disk interactions, their atmospheres puffed by stellar radiation into comet-like tails, observed in transit surveys that watch stars dim periodically, revealing worlds that challenge our expectations of habitability, yet inspire reflections on resilience. Much like how desert cacti thrive in harsh climes, drawing sustenance from scant resources, teaching us that life, or its potential, adapts in the cosmos's diverse corners. Super-Earths. Rocky planets, 1.5 to 10 times Earth's mass, often orbit red dwarf stars in tight bands, their surfaces potentially locked in perpetual day-night divides, where winds howl between hemispheres, carrying heat and moisture in global circulations that might nurture exotic ecosystems. A speculative harmony observed in atmospheric spectra, showing water vapor traces, evoking the way our own winds whisper across plains at dusk, blending warmth and cool in a soothing prelude to night. Ocean worlds like Europa, with subsurface seas warmed by tidal flexing from Jupiter's gravity, harbor possibilities of microbial life beneath icy crusts, probed by missions that sample plumes erupting into space, a hidden vitality that mirrors underground springs, sustaining oases in arid lands, suggesting the universe's depths often conceal flourishing realms beneath unyielding surfaces. Venusian atmospheres, thick with carbon dioxide trapping heat in a runaway greenhouse, transform a once potentially habitable world into a scorching veil. Yet studies of phosphine gas hint at possible microbial adaptations in the clouds. A resilient whisper amid extremes that encourages us to look beyond the surface, much as a calm exterior often hides inner depths of strength and adaptation in our own lives. Tidally locked exoplanets around M-dwarfs, with one side in perpetual daylight and the other in endless night, develop twilight zones where temperatures balance, potentially hosting stable climates with eye-like storm systems at the substellar point. Observations from James Webb revealing atmospheric compositions that suggest water cycles bridging the divides, a poised equilibrium that reflects how day and night meet in our evenings, fostering life in the gentle margins. Mini Neptunes, with hazy hydrogen envelopes over rocky cores, evade full migration to become temperate hybrids. Their transmission spectra showing methane and water signatures that paint pictures of steamy worlds where chemistry brews slowly, much like a simmering pot on a low flame, gradually infusing flavors into the broth of potential habitability. Lava worlds, scorched planets orbiting close to their stars, feature molten surfaces that cycle volatiles between atmosphere and rock, creating hazy skies rich in silicates, a dynamic equilibrium observed in emission lines during eclipses, reminding us of volcanic islands where fire forges fertile lands over time, a testament to how extremes can cradle the seeds of renewal in unexpected warmth. Ice giants like Uranus and Neptune, tilted by ancient collisions that reshaped their magnetic fields into off-kilter dynamos, drift in the outer solar system with hazy blue mantles of methane-absorbing red light, their faint rings and shepherd moons guiding faint particles in delicate dances, evoking the quiet poise of distant relatives who influence family lore from afar, their subtle presence enriching the whole without demanding center stage. Terrestrial planets in habitable zones around sun-like stars, with thin atmospheres allowing surface temperatures for liquid water, show biosignatures in potential oxygen-methane disequilibria detected by future telescopes. a balanced chemistry that hints at life's quiet persistence. Much like how a well-tended garden maintains a harmony through unseen microbial partnerships beneath the soil, nurturing visible blooms with patient care. Gas dwarf planets, intermediate between Earth and Neptune in mass, exhibit dense atmospheres that trap heat unevenly, leading to banded cloud patterns observed in transit photometry. Their modest gravities allowing lighter elements to linger, a transitional form that bridges rocky and gaseous realms, reminiscent of how a light fog softens the landscape, blending contours without obscuring the view. Carbon planets, hypothetical worlds rich in diamond-like structures from high carbon abundances, might form around stars with unusual compositions, their surfaces gleaming under faint stellar light, like jewels in a shadowed vault. A speculative luxury that underscores the universe's playful diversity in planetary recipes, much like how everyday elements combine in unexpected ways to create the comforts of home. Yet, as we drift farther from these familiar shores, a subtle mystery emerges, like a current beneath the waves pulling us toward the unknown. Light, the swift messenger of the cosmos, travels at a pace we hold sacred, about 300,000 kilometers every second, fast enough to circle Earth 7 times in a heartbeat. It carries the glow of stars to our eyes, the warmth of fire to our hands, and the colors of sunsets across vast skies. But what if, in the hidden folds of space, something slips past this boundary? This question arises from the universe's own beginnings, the Big Bang, a moment 13.8 billion years ago, when everything burst from a single, infinitely small point. In those first instants, space itself expanded faster than light could chase, not by moving through the void, but by stretching the fabric of reality, like dough rising in a warm kitchen. Today, that expansion lingers, a quiet inflation carrying distant galaxies away from us at speeds that outpace light. Not because they're racing, but because the space between swells like a breath held too long. To deepen this, think of the cosmic microwave background, the faint echo of that ancient explosion, a uniform glow filling the sky like the afterglow of a distant campfire. It cools as the universe grows, dropping from a searing plasma to a whisper of 2.7 Kelvin, mapping the tiny ripples that seeded the galaxies we see today. These fluctuations, born in the quantum haze of the early cosmos, grew under gravity's nudge into the vast structures that now dot the sky. Clusters and superclusters forming a cosmic web, threads of matter strung across voids like dewdrops on a spider's silk. In this web, the expansion hides its haste. Nearby galaxies like Andromeda draw closer in our local group, defying the greater pull, an intimate counterpoint to the universe's outward sigh. Further still, the Hubble constant measures this growth at about 70 kilometers per second per megaparsec, meaning for every 3.26 million light-years of distance, recession speeds increase by 70 kpts, a metric derived from the steady pulse of Cepheid variable stars, those rhythmic beacons whose brightness winks like a heartbeat across the void. This ongoing stretch, accelerating under dark energy's influence, paints a picture of a universe not static, but alive with motion, much like the subtle rise and fall of your chest in deep repose, expanding the inner horizon of calm without effort. Baryonic matter, the ordinary stuff of atoms, clusters along these web filaments, while voids yawn empty between. Their vast emptiness a canvas for dark energy's dominance, where galaxies recede into horizons beyond our gaze, evoking the philosophical serenity of knowing some journeys end, not in arrival, but in the beauty of departure, much like waves receding from shore to merge with the sea. Type Ia, supernovae, standard candles exploding at consistent brightness, calibrate distances in this expanding tapestry, their light curves revealing the acceleration's onset, a cosmic ledger that balances the pull of gravity with the push of the unknown, much as we balance daily efforts with moments of release, finding equilibrium in the flow. Integrated Sachs-Wolf effect, where CMB photons gain or lose energy, crossing evolving potentials in the cosmic web, imprints large-scale structure on the background radiation, a subtle modulation observed in satellite data, illustrating how the universe's growth subtly tunes its own echoes, akin to how a melody's harmonics enrich the silence around it, deepening the meditative resonance of expansion as a harmonious unfolding. Cosmic voids, immense bubbles spanning hundreds of millions of light-years, evolve slower than denser regions due to reduced gravity, their walls flowing inward over cosmic time, shaping the web's architecture in a gentle ebb that contrasts the clustering pull, much like how empty spaces in a garden allow plants to breathe and spread, fostering overall vitality without crowding. Filamentary structures, vast threads connecting clusters, channel matter flows over billions of years, with simulations showing gas cooling along these highways to fuel central galaxies. A slow procession that builds the cosmos's skeleton, evoking the way veins carry nourishment through the body, sustaining life in unhurried circulation. Wall-like sheets between filaments, thin membranes of galaxies observed in surveys like SDSS, mark boundaries where expansion tensions pull matter into balanced planes, a delicate geometry that underscores the universe's preference for structured elegance, much like the calm layers of sedimentary rock preserving history in quiet strata. Supercluster complexes, immense assemblies like Laniakea, encompassing hundreds of thousands of galaxies, drift with the Hubble flow, yet hold internal bonds that resist full dispersal. A familial grouping on cosmic scales that hints at the universe's layered affections, where proximity fosters enduring ties amid the greater drift. Great walls, vast planar structures like the Sloan Great Wall stretching over 1 billion light-years, delineate the cosmic web's edges, their galaxy distributions revealing anisotropic growth from initial conditions, a monumental yet serene architecture that speaks to the universe's love for expansive yet connected forms, much like a vast quilt pieced from intimate patches, warming the infinite night. Dipole anisotropy in the CMB, a slight temperature variation across the sky due to our motion relative to the cosmic rest frame at 370 km toward the constellation. Leo provides a baseline for measuring expansion's uniformity, a gentle drift that orients us within the whole, reminiscent of how a soft current carries a boat toward a distant light without resistance, aligning personal paths with the greater flow. Sunyaev-Zeldovich effect, where hot intracluster gas scatters CMB photons via inverse Compton scattering, imprints decrements and increments on the background, mapping cluster masses independently of distance, a thermal interplay that reveals the web's hotter nodes, much like how sunlight filtering through leaves warms select spots in a forest glade, highlighting the structure beneath the canopy. Kinetic Sunyaev-Zeldovich effect, arising from our motion relative to clusters causing Doppler shifts in scattered photons, adds a directional nuance to these mappings, a subtle velocity fingerprint that refines our sense of the universe's internal flows, evoking the way a gentle breeze stirs leaves to reveal the wind's hidden direction without disrupting the tree's calm. Let this idea soothe you, much like your own expanding relaxation with each breath, opening spaces within where worries dissolve. Galaxies, those majestic islands in the cosmic sea, cluster in families held by gravity's embrace, our Milky Way just one among trillions. Each is a whirl of stars, laced with dark matter, an unseen essence that doesn't glow or scatter light, yet bends the paths of suns with its quiet weight. Scientists sense it in the steady spin of galaxies, which would otherwise unravel like forgotten yarn. And woven through it all is dark energy, a subtle force pushing outward, accelerating the universe's growth, making the night sky vaster with every passing year. This hidden push, stronger than gravity's pull, veils the true scale of our ocean, suggesting infinities we can scarcely imagine. Delve a little further into dark matter's quiet role. It forms halos around galaxies, invisible scaffolds that trap ordinary matter in their grasp, allowing stars to form without scattering into the void. Evidence comes from gravitational lensing, where light from distant objects bends around these unseen masses, creating arcs and rings in the sky, like rainbows warped by an invisible hand. On a human scale, it's akin to the air we breathe, unseen yet essential, holding up the weight of our world without fanfare. Dark energy, discovered through the dimming of far-off supernovae, reveals an acceleration that began about 5 billion years ago, perhaps tied to the vacuum's own energy, a constant pressure inflating the cosmos like a balloon gaining speed as it rises. In this balance of pull and push, the universe maintains a philosophical equilibrium, inviting us to ponder how even the emptiest spaces hold profound influence, much like the silence between breaths that deepens our rest. Particle physics experiments, deep underground in places like Italy's Gran Sasso, hunt for dark matter's elusive particles, WIMPs, weakly interacting massive particles, that might occasionally nudge a detector, a faint signal like a pebble rippling a pond. Though yet undetected, these quests underscore the cosmos's layered nature, where what we cannot touch shapes what we see, encouraging a meditative acceptance of the unseen forces that guide our path, just as unseen currents carry a leaf gently downstream. Dwarf galaxies, satellites orbiting giants like the Milky Way, offer windows into dark matter's distribution, their stellar streams stretching like tidal tails, warped by the halo's gravitational tides, a delicate interplay that reveals how even small systems mirror the grand architecture, fostering a sense of interconnectedness that calms the soul, akin to how family histories link individual lives into a larger narrative. Elliptical galaxies, bloated with old stars and little gas, glide through clusters like serene elders, their smooth envelopes hiding merger histories, where dark matter halos merged first, dictating the stellar dance, a testament to how the invisible often precedes and preserves the visible, much like roots sustaining a tree's canopy in quiet strength, spiral arms, density waves propagating through galactic disks, trigger star formation as gas compresses and collapses, observed in the Sun's position about 26,000 light-years from the center, orbiting once every 230 million years. A slow waltz that positions us to witness the universe's pageant from a vantage of poised observation, much like choosing a hilltop seat for a sunset, where the view unfolds with unhurried grace. Lenticular galaxies, transitional forms between spirals and ellipticals, hold hints of past arms now faded, their disks settled into stable orbits sustained by dark matter's steady hold, a poised maturity that speaks to the universe's evolutionary patience, evoking the way a river delta forms after centuries of flow, settling into fertile calm. Irregular galaxies, like the Magellanic Clouds, tumble through space with chaotic shapes from tidal interactions, yet harbour active starburst regions where gas fuels rapid births, their low dark matter content allowing freer dynamics, a reminder that even disorder contributes to the cosmic mosaic, much like how improvisational music finds beauty in unexpected turns, enriching the overall harmony without rigid form. Barred spirals, with central bars funneling gas toward nuclei, ignite bursts of star formation at their ends, observed in half of local galaxies, a structural feature that accelerates evolution while maintaining orbital stability, akin to how a well-placed hearth draws warmth to a home's heart, distributing comfort through the rooms. Ultra-diffuse galaxies, faint and extended with low surface brightness, drift in clusters where ram pressure stripping shears away gas, leaving sparse stars in vast halos. Their ethereal forms a whisper of resilience, much like mist clinging to a hillside after rain, persisting in the landscape's subtle contours. Ring galaxies, formed by collisions where a smaller galaxy passes through a larger one, creating density waves that expel gas into expanding rings of star formation, offer rare glimpses of dynamic restructuring. Their hoop-like shapes a poetic reminder of how disruptions can birth elegant symmetries, much like a stone skipped across water, leaving circular ripples that settle into tranquil patterns. Peculiar galaxies, warped by interactions with dark matter subhalos or tidal forces from neighbours, display twisted arms or polar rings, their irregular beauty a testament to the universe's creative flexibility, evoking how life's unexpected bends often lead to richer expressions, like a path diverging into a meadow of wildflowers. Shell galaxies, remnants of minor mergers where stellar shells peel outward like onion layers, reveal accretion histories in their concentric patterns, a gradual layering that speaks to the universe's archival patience, much like how memories accrete in layers over years, forming the quiet depth of personal history. Hoag's Object, a rare ring galaxy with a dense core and sparse outer ring, stands as an isolated enigma, possibly formed by internal instabilities, its yellow stars contrasting the blue ring's youth. A visual poem of separation and renewal that invites us to reflect on how even solitary forms hold stories of quiet transformation, much like a lone tree on a hill, enduring seasons in graceful isolation. Deeper still, we encounter black holes, profound wells where the ocean's floor dips into mystery. Born from the death of massive stars, they collapse under their own immense gravity, compressing into a singularity, a point of endless density where time and space fold upon themselves. Around this core lies the event horizon, a threshold from which even light cannot return, drawn inexorably inward like a sigh swallowed by silence. To us, watching from afar, objects nearing it seem to slow, time stretching into an eternal pause, while within, the familiar rules of physics whisper away. These black holes are not voids of destruction, but artists of creation, their gravity gathering dust and gas to spark new stars from the remnants. At our galaxy's heart slumbers Sagittarius A, a supermassive presence 4 million times the Sun's mass. guiding the orbital ballet of stars with effortless poise. To expand on their life cycle, recall that stars 10 times our Sun's mass live fast and bright, fusing heavier elements like carbon and oxygen in their cores, before a supernova's blaze scatters their enriched ashes, seeding the universe with the stuff of planets and life. The remnant core, if massive enough, implodes into a black hole, its spin creating an accretion disk of swirling matter that heats to millions of degrees, emitting X-rays like a cosmic furnace. We've imaged Sagittarius A with radio waves, seeing its shadow against the glow, a dark circle 4 times larger than our solar system, yet containing the mass of 4 million suns. This observation, a triumph of patient technology, evokes the calm of watching clouds shift, revealing hidden shapes in the sky, and reminds us how black holes, in their stillness, connect the universe's past explosions to future births, a cycle as reassuring as the seasons turning. Mergers of these giants, detected by gravitational waves rippling through space-time, like the 2015 event from 2 black holes 1.3 billion light-years away, sending a tremor that stretched and squeezed Earth by the width of an atom, reveal their dynamic lives, waves that carry echoes of cosmic collisions, softening into the fabric we inhabit. These ripples, now routinely sensed by detectors on opposite sides of the planet, whisper of black holes as connectors, their unions forging even larger entities that anchor galaxy centers, fostering the conditions for stars and worlds to thrive in the afterglow. Intermediate black holes, bridging stellar and supermassive scales, may form from globular cluster collisions, their evidence glimpsed in ultraluminous X-ray sources where matter spirals in at ferocious rates, a middle ground in the hierarchy that suggests evolutionary paths as gradual as a river, widening into a lake, inviting contemplation on how extremes in the cosmos often hide transitional harmonies. Primordial black holes, hypothetical relics from the Big Bang's density fluctuations, could roam as dark matter candidates, tiny yet dense, evaporating slowly via Hawking radiation or lingering as seeds for larger ones. Their elusive nature a poetic veil that aligns with the universe's habit of concealing swift possibilities in the subtlest forms, much like hidden springs feeding a tranquil pond. Quasar feedback, where supermassive black holes expel winds at thousands of kilometers per second, regulate star formation in host galaxies by heating gas and quenching collapses, a self-regulating mechanism observed in spectral lines of outflowing ions, balancing growth and restraint in a way that echoes the body's own homeostasis, where rest follows exertion to restore equilibrium. Stellar mass black holes in X-ray binaries, accreting from companion stars, flare with variability on second scales, their quiescence periods revealing the quiet intervals between feeds, a rhythmic existence that mirrors the ebb and flow of tides, teaching us about the patience required in cosmic processes as profound as personal cycles of activity and repose. Dormant black holes, wandering through space after kicks from asymmetric supernova explosions, may seed future mergers, their isolation a phase of quiet accumulation, much like how seeds lie dormant in soil through winter, awaiting the spring's gentle stir to sprout anew. Microquasars, stellar analogues to quasars with relativistic jets from accreting black holes, mimic supermassive behaviors on small scales, their radio lobes expanding like bubbles in the interstellar medium, a scaled-down drama that reveals universal principles at work, evoking how a small flame in a lantern can illuminate the vast night with steady glow. Naked singularities, theoretical endpoints where horizons fail to form around collapsing matter, challenge the cosmic censorship hypothesis, suggesting points of raw exposure where physics veils lift briefly, a speculative nakedness that invites reflection on the universe's preference for clothed mysteries, much like how a poem's subtlety preserves its allure over stark revelation. Supermassive black hole seeds, potentially growing from direct collapse of massive gas clouds in the early universe, bypass stellar paths to form quickly, their rapid accretion fueling the quasars that lit the Ryanization epoch. A foundational growth that underscores the cosmos's efficient nurturing of central anchors, akin to how a single deep-rooted tree stabilizes an entire grove against storms. Kerr black holes, rotating with angular momentum that drags nearby space-time into frame-dragging whirlpools, exhibit ergo regions where negative energy orbits allow extraction of spin energy, powering phenomena like blazars, where jets align with our line of sight, beaming radiation that outshines quasars, a dynamic equilibrium that reflects the universe's way of channeling excess into directed flows, much like a river harnessing its current to carve valleys over time. Reissner-Nordstrom black holes, charged variants with electromagnetic repulsion adding a layer to their horizons, offer theoretical stability against full evaporation, their dual horizons creating a corky surface where information paradoxes soften, a balanced charge that evokes the universe's inclination toward equilibrium, even in the most extreme confines, much like a charged atmosphere before rain, releasing tension in a refreshing downpour. Schwarzschild black holes, the simplest, non-rotating, uncharged forms, embody pure gravitational collapse, their eternal horizons a timeless boundary where infalling matter freezes in external view, a serene finality that philosophically mirrors how some chapters in life close irrevocably, leaving echoes in the surrounding narrative without further disruption. In the shadow of such wonders, our puzzle of faster-than-light secrets takes on a poetic hue. Near a black hole's curve, space-time warps like a dream bending under the weight of unspoken thoughts, hinting at shortcuts through the expanse. Consider wormholes, those fanciful tunnels imagined in the equations of relativity, bridges linking distant shores, folding the vast sheet of reality so that what seems light years away becomes a mere step. They might pierce from one galaxy to another, allowing passage without shattering light's sacred rule, sustained perhaps by exotic matter that repels rather than attracts, a negative whisper against the pull of the ordinary. Though we've yet to glimpse one, the mathematics cradles them gently, like possibilities tucked into the folds of a lullaby. Building on this, envision the Einstein-Rosen bridge, a theoretical link born from black hole solutions, where two singularities connect like doorways in a grand hall. Stabilizing such a path would require threading it with matter that defies gravity's tug, perhaps drawn from quantum fields where negative energy densities flicker into being. In everyday terms, it's like folding a map to bring far cities close, bypassing the roads in between, though in the cosmos, the fold warps the very map of space-time. This idea invites a meditative reflection. Just as in sleep, our minds traverse memories and imaginings without the constraints of distance, the universe might offer such folds to connect its distant whispers, hiding them in the intricate weave of relativity to preserve the gentle order we observe. Quantum gravity theories, like loop quantum gravity, suggest space-time itself is woven from tiny loops, granular at the Planck scale, 10-35 meters, where wormholes might emerge as natural tunnels in this discrete fabric, fleeting bridges that quantum effects could stabilize for longer spans. Such speculations, grounded in the union of relativity and quantum mechanics, evoke the quiet potential of the void, where emptiness isn't barren but pregnant with pathways, much like the pause before inspiration strikes in the stillness of night. Traversable wormholes, if threaded with cosmic strings, hypothetical defects from the early universe, like seams in reality's fabric, could link not just spaces but eras, allowing causal loops that challenge intuition yet align with relativity's allowances, a conceptual bridge that soothes with its promise of unity across the infinite, reminiscent of how shared dreams connect separated loved ones in the quiet hours. Ergospheres around spinning black holes, regions where space-time drags so fiercely that objects must co-rotate, hint at energy extraction via the Penrose process, siphoning rotational power to fuel jets that appear superluminal from afar, a natural mechanism the universe employs to balance its energies, much like how a gentle spin in a comfortable chair eases the body into relaxation without strain. Negative energy in the Casimir effect, where parallel plates in vacuum draw together due to suppressed quantum fluctuations, provides a glimpse of the exotic states needed for wormhole stability, a laboratory echo of cosmic possibilities, suggesting the universe experiments with such balances at every scale, from the intimate to the immense, fostering a sense of underlying order that calms the probing mind. Morris Thorne wormholes, a metric describing traversable paths with spherical symmetry, require exotic matter to keep the throat open, their geometry allowing safe passage if navigated carefully, a theoretical haven that invites us to imagine journeys not as conquests, but as serene drifts through hidden corridors, much like wandering through a familiar house in the dark, guided by memory's soft light. Visser wormholes, variations with thin shells of exotic material, propose simpler constructions where the throat acts as a dynamic membrane, potentially traversable with less energy, a refined vision that aligns with the universe's efficient elegance, evoking how a simple bridge spans a stream more gracefully than a grand arch. Teo wormholes, asymmetric designs allowing one-way travel with asymmetric horizons, offer a twist on symmetry, where the journey favors the traveler like a current aiding a boat downstream, a conceptual asymmetry that enriches the poetry of possibility without complicating the calm flow. Roman wormholes, embedded in anti-de Sitter space with negative curvature, suggest traversable paths stabilized by the geometry itself, a theoretical refuge where the universe's folds become self-sustaining, much like a valley cradling a stream in its natural contours, allowing flow without external force. Fulling-Davies Unruh effect, where accelerating observers perceive vacuum fluctuations as thermal radiation, hints at how motion through space-time might unveil hidden energies for stabilizing exotic structures, a perceptual warmth in the void that mirrors how quiet reflection uncovers inner resources, deepening the cosmos's invitation to explore beyond the apparent stillness. Ellis drainhole wormholes, cylindrical traversable paths with vanishingly small throats, require less exotic matter than spherical ones, their geometry evoking a gentle funnel that draws connections without overwhelming force, much like a narrow trail leading through a forest to unexpected clearings, revealing vistas that reward the patient wanderer. Garfinkel-Morris wormholes, embedding flat space in curved metrics, propose minimal exotic requirements for short traversals, a streamlined path that hints at the universe's preference for economical designs, akin to a whisper carrying far in still air without raising volume. Maldacena-Susskind wormholes, linking entangled black holes in anti-de Sitter space via quantum connections, suggest geometry emerges from entanglement, a profound unity where distant points bond through shared quantum states, evoking how deep friendships span miles without physical travel, their invisible threads weaving emotional closeness in the quiet spaces of separation. Nebulae drift into our tail now, adding their soft luminescence to the night. These glowing clouds, born from the ashes of stellar explosions or the cradles of new births, paint the cosmos in pastels of crimson, azure, and emerald. The Orion Nebula, a mere 1–300 light-years from us, teems with infant stars, their ultraviolet light ionizing the gas into a hazy glow like fireflies awakening in a summer meadow. Dust veils within scatter the brilliance, hiding the young suns until they emerge, ready to join the stellar choir. Here, the universe reveals its cycle of renewal. Matter disperses in supernova's fiery breath, only to gather anew, flowing from end to beginning in an eternal rhythm. It's akin to sleep itself, dissolving into rest, only to awaken refreshed, the cosmos breathing in death and exhaling life. To linger here, picture the Eagle Nebula's pillars of creation, towering columns of gas and dust sculpted by stellar winds, each pillar a nursery where protostars stir like seeds in fertile soil. Winds from nearby hot stars erode these structures over millennia, triggering new collapses that birth yet more lights. A chain reaction of creation observed in infrared through the dust's veil. On Earth, we mirror this in the way autumn leaves fall to enrich the spring soil, a quiet testament to how destruction feeds growth. These nebulae, spanning light years, hold the raw materials for generations of stars. Their slow evolution a lullaby of patience, encouraging us to release our own cycles of tension into the night's forgiving flow. Planetary nebulae, the final size of stars like our Sun, expand as outer layers drift away, revealing a white dwarf core glowing with leftover heat. Their shapes like butterfly wings or hourglasses etched in ionized shells. Hubble images capture these ejections, where elements forged in the star's heart, nitrogen, oxygen, the building blocks of life, return to the interstellar medium, a gentle repatriation that ensures the universe's story continues, layer upon layer, in hues that soothe the eye like a watercolor dawn. Reflection. Nebulae, illuminated not by ionization, but by starlight bouncing off dust grains, create soft blue glows around embedded clusters, like moonlight filtering through fog. Their tranquility a metaphor for how indirect influences, conversations overheard or memories resurfaced, shape our inner worlds without fanfare, deepening the meditative calm as we envision these clouds as cosmic meditations, drifting without haste. Protoplanetary disks encircling young stars within nebulae, captured in exquisite detail by the Atacama Large Millimeter Array, reveal gaps carved by forming planets, swirling rings of dust and gas that coalesce into worlds. A formative phase where shadows of future oceans and mountains take shape, evoking the way a sketch evolves into a full painting, layer by subtle layer, inviting us to contemplate our own unfolding paths with similar patience. Herbig Haro objects, bright knots where jets from young stars collide with surrounding gas, flare like cosmic fireworks muted by distance, their spectra showing shocked hydrogen emissions, a dynamic interplay that clears paths for planetary systems, much like how thunderstorms refresh the air, clearing space for renewal in nature's quiet aftermath. Supernova remnants like the Crab Nebula, expanding shells from exploded stars, accelerate particles to near-light speeds in magnetic shocks, producing synchrotron radiation that bathes the region in radio and gamma rays, a lingering legacy that seeds new cycles of formation, akin to how a forest fire's ashes fertilize the ground for denser growth, illustrating the universe's transformative gentleness, even in cataclysm. Dark nebulae, opaque clouds blocking background light like silhouettes against the Milky Way, harbor cold molecular gas where new stars gestate unseen, their infrared emissions betraying hidden warmth, a veiled nurturing that reminds us of how shadows often cradle the most tender beginnings, much like the quiet womb of night fosters dreams. Bok globules, compact dark clouds within larger nebulae, collapse under their own gravity to form isolated stars, the cometary shapes trailing from photoevaporation by nearby radiation. A solitary gestation that speaks to the universe's allowance for intimate creations amid the grand, evoking how a single candle in a vast hall provides personal light without illuminating all. Emission nebulae around Wolf-Rayet stars, with their intense winds carving bubbles in the gas, showcase heavy element enrichment from the star's exposed core, a preparatory scattering that enriches the medium for future generations, much like how a seasoned storyteller passes wisdom through tales, layering depth into the narrative's soil. Trifid Nebula, where dark lanes divide bright emissions into three lobes, illustrates the interplay of destruction and creation, as evaporating gaseous globules protect inner nurseries, a balanced tension that nurtures stars while unveiling their glow, reminiscent of how life's challenges carve spaces for growth, allowing light to emerge from sheltered depths. Helix Nebula, a planetary remnant resembling an eye gazing back at us, reveals intricate knots of cometary globules resisting the central star's wind, their fluorescent edges glowing with ionized oxygen, a watchful presence that suggests the universe observes its own transformations, much like how a quiet witness to change finds wisdom in the unfolding patterns. Lagoon Nebula, a vast emission cloud riddled with dark dust lanes that form stellar silhouettes, hosts open clusters where young stars illuminate the gas in rosy hues, a fertile expanse that evokes the universe's nurturing expanses, much like a meadow after rain, where wildflowers push through cracks in the earth, blooming in quiet defiance of the elements. Cat's Eye Nebula, a complex planetary remnant with concentric shells from repeated thermal pulses, unfolds like a cosmic onion revealing inner structures, its central star's erratic shedding captured in Hubble's gaze, a layered revelation that mirrors how personal growth peels back defenses to expose core truths, fostering a sense of gradual enlightenment in the night's gentle progression. Time weaves through this narrative like a silken river, meandering from the Big Bang's spark to the quiet now. It bends near massive bodies, slowing in the grip of gravity, so that clocks on a mountaintop tick faster than those at sea level, a subtle poetry Einstein unveiled. Light from quasars, those blazing hearts of young galaxies, fueled by matter spiraling into black holes, travels billions of years to greet us, painting pictures of a universe in its fiery infancy. This journey compresses eons into moments for the traveler at near-light speeds, where years pass like days, turning vast distances into intimate dreams. In such dilations, the cosmos hides its swift undercurrents, suggesting that time itself might veil paths where light's limit yields to the flow. Expanding this river's course, consider GPS satellites orbiting Earth, where their clocks run slightly faster due to weaker gravity, requiring adjustments to sync with ground time. A practical nod to relativity's touch in our daily lives. In the cosmos, this effect amplifies near-neutron stars, remnants of supernovae, where a teaspoon of matter weighs billions of tons, time crawling to a near halt at their surface. Quasars, powered by supermassive black holes devouring gas at near-light speeds, outshine entire galaxies, their jets of plasma stretching across thousands of light-years like luminous rivers. These beacons from the universe's adolescence, when it was a third its current age, show a time of rampant mergers, galaxies colliding in slow-motion ballets that reshaped the cosmic web. Time, in its fluidity, becomes a companion to our mystery, for if space can fold, perhaps time loops too, allowing echoes of the future to brush the past in ways that whisper of velocities unbound. Arrow of time theories rooted in entropy's inexorable rise, the universe's tendency toward disorder, like coffee cooling in a cup, suggest a directionality that light upholds. Yet in closed systems like black holes, reversals might hint at timeless realms. On a personal note, as we age, time seems to quicken, much like how relativity predicts for accelerating frames. A gentle nudge to cherish the present's slow unfolding, aligning our inner clock with the cosmos's measured pace. Cosmic clocks, like the decay rates of radioactive elements in ancient meteorites, calibrate the universe's timeline, revealing epochs when the first heavy elements formed, cooling the plasma into transparency, a pivotal shift that allowed light to travel freely, much like dawn breaking through fog to illuminate the landscape, fostering a reflective pause on how time's passage gifts us visibility into the eternal. Reionization era, around 400 million years after the Big Bang, when first stars ionized neutral hydrogen, clearing the fog for light's propagation, marked by the Gunn-Peterson trough in quasar spectra. An absorption dip that charts this transition, a cosmic clearing much like mist, lifting from a valley to reveal distant peaks, symbolizing how time unveils layers of reality gradually, nurturing our appreciation for the unfolding present. Fossil records in the CMB's polarization patterns, from E-mode and B-mode signals, trace inflationary twists in the early universe, where gravitational waves imprinted curls on the light, a primordial signature that hints at the forces shaping time's arrow from the start, evoking the way ancient footprints in sand guide us through shifting dunes, providing direction in the vastness. Closed time-like curves in Goodale's rotating universe solution, theoretical paths where one could loop back to the past, arise from specific matter distributions, though our expanding cosmos avoids them, a safeguard that preserves causality's gentle flow, much like how a winding path in a garden prevents disorientation, allowing contemplation without confusion. Twin paradox resolutions in special relativity, where accelerating twins experience asymmetric aging, illustrate time's relational dance, a reminder that our perceptions of duration are as personal as the moments we choose to savor. deepening the introspective calm as we align with the universe's unhurried tempo. Hafel-Keating experiment, with atomic clocks flown on airplanes confirming gravitational and velocity time dilations, bridges theory to tangible reality, a modest journey that echoes cosmic scales, inviting us to see relativity in our own travels, where even a short flight subtly shifts the ticks of time like a soft breeze altering a leaf's fall. Pound-Rebka experiment, measuring gravitational redshift in Harvard's tower with gamma rays, confirms light's frequency shift in gravity's well, a precise echo that grounds time's bend in everyday architecture, much like how shadows lengthen in the afternoon sun, marking the day's gentle progression toward evening's peace. Shapiro delay, where radar signals to Venus bend around the sun, lengthening their path as predicted by general relativity, offers a solar system-scale glimpse of time's curvature, a subtle lag that enriches our understanding of how massive bodies weave delays into the light's journey, akin to how a meandering stream takes its time to reach the sea, savoring the landscape along the way. Moosbauer-Rotor experiments, rotating gamma-ray sources to test time dilation in moving frames, confirms special relativity's predictions at lab scales, a controlled whisper of cosmic truths that bridges the intimate and immense, much like how a single heartbeat echoes the universe's expansive rhythms in miniature. Ives' Stilwell experiment, using canal rays to measure transverse Doppler shifts in fast-moving ions, validates time dilation's predictions with precision spectroscopy, a laboratory harmony that tunes our understanding of time's stretch, evoking the way a violin string vibrates to produce notes that resonate far beyond its frame. Frisch-Smith experiment, observing gamma rays from moving sources to confirm relativistic Doppler effects, adds another layer of empirical grace to time's fluidity, a subtle confirmation that aligns theoretical elegance with observable subtlety, much like how a faint melody lingers in the air after the instrument falls silent. Matter, the humble clay of creation, forms the stars, planets, and even the air you breathe now. From quarks and electrons building atoms, to molecules forging rocks and oceans, it dances in quantum whispers, particles flickering in and out of the vacuum, borrowing existence for fleeting instants. Yet this visible matter is but a sparkle on the wave. 95% of the universe lurks in darkness, dark matter scaffolding galaxies, and dark energy urging their flight. These shadows imply hidden mechanisms, perhaps quantum ripples where virtual particles dart faster than light in ephemeral bursts, challenging our rules without breaking them outright. Like thoughts racing through a dreamscape, they hint at a reality bubbling beneath, alive with unspoken speed. To enrich this dance, delve into the standard model of particles, where fundamental bits like up and down quarks combine into protons and neutrons, the nucleus of every atom. In the early universe, a hot soup of these particles cooled into hydrogen, the simplest element fueling the first stars. Quantum tunneling, a peculiar leap where particles slip through barriers they shouldn't, powers nuclear fusion in stars, allowing protons to merge despite repulsion, like a whisper passing through a wall. This same quantum weirdness fuels Hawking radiation near black holes, where virtual pairs separate at the horizon, one falling in and the other escaping as real particles, causing even black holes to slowly evaporate over trillions of years. Matter's quantum nature thus bridges the seen and unseen, suggesting that in the vacuum's foam, fleeting superluminal hints emerge, not as travelers, but as the universe's subtle way of testing its own boundaries, much like the mind explores ideas in the hush before sleep. Antimatter, matter's mirror with opposite charge, annihilates on contact with its twin, releasing pure energy, a phenomenon harnessed in medical PET scans, where positrons reveal the body's hidden flows. In the cosmos, asymmetries from the Big Bang favored matter over antimatter, allowing our existence. Without it, the universe might have blinked out in mutual destruction. This delicate imbalance, probed in accelerators like CERN's Large Hadron Collider, smashing particles at near light speeds, uncovers layers of matter's story, inviting us to reflect on how the ordinary hides extraordinary origins, fostering a sense of grateful wonder as we exhale into the night. Neutrinos, ghostly particles produced in stellar cores and supernovae, stream through us by trillions each second without interaction. Their masses so slight, they hint at physics beyond the standard model, perhaps linking to dark matter candidates, a subtle undercurrent in matter's flow that evokes the intangible supports in life, like quiet friendships that sustain without demand. Higgs field, the pervasive medium granting particles mass through interactions, permeates space like an invisible mist. Its boson discovered in 2012, confirming the mechanism that differentiates light-speed photons from sluggish protons, a foundational veil that explains why some matter lags while others race, philosophically mirroring how our choices weigh us down or set us free in the dance of existence. Gluons, the strong force carriers binding quarks within protons, operate at scales so small that their effects confine matter into stable forms. Yet in the quark-gluon plasma of the early universe, recreated in heavy ion collisions, they flowed freely, a hot soup where boundaries dissolved, suggesting how matter's cohesion emerges from chaos, much like how shared routines bind a household into harmonious rhythm. Axions, lightweight particles proposed to solve the strong CP problem, could form Bose-Einstein condensates in galactic halos, behaving as coherent waves that mimic dark matter's gravitational pull, their faint conversions to photons in magnetic fields hunted in haloscopes, a speculative harmony that envisions matter's unseen side as a subtle symphony, resonating quietly to hold the stars in place. Sterile neutrinos, heavier siblings that interact only gravitationally, might explain pulsar kicks or EE process nucleosynthesis in neutron star mergers. Their oscillations probed in short baseline experiments, adding layers to matter's family tree that suggest hidden branches supporting the visible canopy, much like ancestral roots nourish a family without fanfare. Muons, heavier cousins of electrons, decay in microseconds, yet their anomalous magnetic moments, deviations from standard model predictions, hint at new physics, probed at Fermilab's accelerators, a fleeting existence that challenges our understanding, evoking how brief encounters in life can reveal profound truths about the whole. Top quarks, the heaviest known particles with masses near that of a gold atom, decay almost instantly after production, their short lives studied in collider events that recreate Big Bang conditions, a momentary flash that illuminates the hierarchy of matter, much like a shooting star etching its path across the sky before dissolving into night. Charmed quarks, lighter yet unstable, form mesons that decay, revealing CP violation, subtle asymmetries between matter and antimatter in particle tracks, a delicate bias that echoes the universe's preference for persistence, fostering reflections on how small imbalances tip the scales toward enduring forms in the cosmic balance. Bottom quarks, even heavier and rarer, pair in beauty mesons to probe flavor-changing neutral currents, their decays offering windows into beyond standard model effects like supersymmetry, a layered complexity that suggests matter's family holds deeper kinships, much like discovering extended relatives who add richness to a lineage without altering its core story. Strange quarks, with their odd flavor imparting unique properties to hyperons, contribute to neutron star interiors, where extreme pressures unbind nucleons into quark matter, a dense phase where matter's fundamental bits flow like a cosmic soup, hinting at the universe's capacity for reconfiguration under duress, akin to how pressure forges diamonds from carbon in Earth's depths, transforming the ordinary into enduring brilliance. Tau leptons, the heaviest charged leptons, decay swiftly into lighter particles, their rare production in colliders offering glimpses of electroweak symmetry breaking, a brief manifestation that underscores matter's ephemeral diversity, much like a rare bloom in a desert that enriches the ecosystem's subtle balance before fading. And so we arrive at infinity, that boundless horizon where the ocean meets the sky without end. The part we see stretches 93 billion light-years, a bubble of light in an endless sea. But beyond pulses more, perhaps a multiverse of realities, each with its own breadths and boundaries. In this vastness, faster-than-light whispers might echo through warped spaces, like the imagined Alcubierre drive, a bubble of contracted space ahead, expanded behind, surfing a wave that outruns light while cradling its passengers in calm. Or tachyons, elusive particles forever fleeing light's grasp, their existence a backward glance through time's mirror. These are the universe's gentle enigmas, not rushed revelations, but invitations to wonder, comparing the slow crawl of known paths to the swift dreams of what might be. Wormholes folding distances like pages in a book. Quantum links binding particles across voids in instant harmony. Dark energies unveiling accelerations that stretch the night into forever. To wander further into this infinity, contemplate the observable universe's edge, where light from the farthest reaches arrives redshifted, stretched by expansion into longer wavelengths, a cosmic Doppler effect painting the ancient glow in infrared hues. Theories of eternal inflation propose bubble universes budding off our own, each inflating separately, their laws varying like dialects in a vast conversation, some with stronger gravity, others where light's speed differs subtly. In string theory's landscape, extra dimensions curl up small, vibrating in patterns that might allow shortcuts, resonating like hidden strings on a guitar, producing notes beyond our hearing. The multiverse idea, born from quantum interpretations where every possibility branches into reality, evokes the infinity of dreams, where one path leads to countless others, all coexisting in peaceful multiplicity. Here, faster-than-light secrets find their deepest home, not as violations, but as natural extensions of a cosmos too grand to reveal all at once, encouraging us to rest in the knowledge that some horizons are meant to inspire quiet awe rather than frantic pursuit. Holographic principles, suggesting our three-dimensional reality emerges from information encoded on a two-dimensional surface, like a hologram projecting depth from a flat film, imply that infinity might be a projection. Distances, illusions in a deeper code, where superluminal connections underpin the show without disrupting the stage. This perspective, drawn from black hole thermodynamics, aligns with the calm acceptance that the universe's vastness mirrors our inner expanses, inviting dreams that span unseen realms without the weight of travel. Cyclic models, where the universe expands and contracts in endless loops, propose phases of crunch and bang that reset the clock, potentially allowing information to traverse cycles faster than light's linear path. A rhythmic infinity like the seasons of breath, in and out, fostering philosophical peace in the idea of renewal without finality. Brain cosmology, envisioning our universe as a membrane floating in higher dimensional bulk space, suggests collisions with parallel brains could spark big bangs, with gravity leaking across dimensions faster than light's confinement to the brain. A layered reality where infinities stack like pages in an endless book, evoking the multi-layered depths of a dream within a dream, where boundaries dissolve into serene exploration. Landscape of vacua in string theory, with 10,500 possible configurations, implies a multiverse where our constants are but one tuning, selected anthropically for life, a vast ensemble that hides superluminal variants in other bubbles, much like how a library's shelves hold untold stories, each volume a quiet world waiting to be opened in the mind's repose. Ekpyrotic models, where brain collisions in higher dimensions generate the hot Big Bang, propose a universe born from fiery unions rather than singular points, with scalar fields driving contraction and bounce, a cyclical infinity that softens the edges of creation, reminding us of how gentle collisions, like raindrops merging on a leaf, can birth expansive flows. Many worlds' interpretation of quantum mechanics, where wave function collapse branches realities at every measurement, envisions an infinity of parallel outcomes coexisting, their divergences subtle yet profound, a comforting multiplicity that suggests every choice echoes in unseen realms, fostering a sense of boundless potential without isolation. Chaotic inflation scenarios, where quantum fluctuations seed diverse bubble universes with varying densities, paint a froth of creation eternally bubbling, each foam cell a self-contained cosmos, a dynamic infinity that mirrors the ever-shifting patterns of clouds, inviting us to find peace in the perpetual yet unhurried becoming. False vacuum decay, a hypothetical transition where our metastable state tunnels to a lower energy could spawn new bubbles expanding at light speed, reshaping infinities in a cascade of rebirths, a speculative serenity that views even cosmic upheavals as gentle renewals, much like the quiet shift from one season to the next. Boltzmann brains, hypothetical self-aware entities arising from random fluctuations in an eternal universe, challenge our sense of purposeful existence. Yet in the multiverse's vastness, they underscore the rarity of stable observers like us, a philosophical musing that invites humility, reminding us to cherish our coherent narrative amid the infinite's whimsical possibilities, much like finding a clear path through a foggy wood. Anthropic principle. Observing that our universe's fine-tuned constants allow for complexity suggests selection from a multiverse ensemble, where infinities favor observers like us, a reflective harmony that aligns the cosmos's grandeur with our quiet presence, evoking how a vast symphony includes the listener's seat as part of its design. Measure problem in eternal inflation, where the infinite proliferation of bubbles complicates probability assignments, invites contemplation on how infinities might self-regulate through selection effects, a conceptual balance that soothes with its implication of inherent order, much like how an endless ocean's waves find rhythm without a conductor. String gas cosmology, envisioning strings in a hot early phase that wind around compact dimensions to smooth the universe, proposes a gentle heating from quantum vibrations rather than violent expansion, a harmonious prelude to infinity where matter and geometry entwine like threads in a loom, weaving the fabric of reality with unhurried precision. In weaving these threads, light's steadfast journey versus the hidden surges of expansion, the direct gaze of stars against the veiled shortcuts of warps. The universe reveals itself as a storyteller of contrasts. Where light plods across the gulf between galaxies, taking eons to bridge what feels eternal, the stretching of space carries them swifter still, a silent haste born of growth. Information, bound to light's pace, connects us to the past in patient streams, yet quantum entanglement ties distant hearts in timeless unity, though it shares no secrets we can harness. Particles with mass bow to the limit, their masses anchoring them, while theoretical swift ones evade it, born from equations that dream of the impossible. Dark forces propel the whole into acceleration, hiding the cosmos's reach in accelerating veils, much like sleep conceals the journeys of the mind. These contrasts unfold like chapters in a long, soothing tale, where the universe's hidden speeds, whether in expansion's stretch, wormholes fold, or quantum's flicker, serve not to challenge, but to deepen the mystery, reminding us that reality's fabric is woven with room for the unseen. Just as a calm sea hides swift undercurrents that shape distant shores without disturbing the surface, so too might these elements propel the cosmos forward, evolving it toward forms we can only intuit in moments of stillness. Frame dragging, where rotating masses like black holes twist space-time around them, creates a cosmic whirlpool that drags light paths into spirals, observed in binary pulsar systems where orbits decay precisely as predicted. A subtle drag that hints at how motion at light's edge warps the rules, fostering environments where apparent superluminal effects, like jets beaming toward us, appear to outpace light through relativistic beaming. These phenomena, pieced from pulsar timing arrays that map gravitational waves across the galaxy, enrich the narrative of contrasts, showing how the universe balances revelation and reserve. Much like a storyteller pauses to let the listener's imagination fill the gaps. Superluminal motion in quasar jets, where plasma blobs seem to cross the sky faster than light due to projection angles, illustrates this illusion's beauty, a visual poetry that teases the boundary without crossing it, encouraging us to embrace the cosmos's playful veils as invitations to deeper wonder. Cherenkov radiation, when charged particles exceed light speed in a medium like water, produces a blue glow in nuclear reactors, an analogy for how the universe might permit local exceedances without global breach, a contained swiftness that lights up hidden processes, much like fireflies flashing in the dark to signal without overwhelming the night. Bell's theorem experiments, confirming quantum non-locality through entangled photon correlations, show instantaneous influences across space that defy classical speeds, yet convey no usable information, a subtle defiance that underscores the universe's preference for harmony over haste, much as a glance across a room conveys understanding without words. Phase velocities in waveguides, where electromagnetic waves propagate faster than light inside structures, without carrying energy superluminally, offer earthly parallels to cosmic veils, demonstrating how contexts allow apparent excesses while preserving core limits, a layered subtlety that invites reflection on how our perceptions often reveal more about the observer than the observed. Alcubierre metrics energy requirements, demanding negative mass equivalent to Jupiter's, highlight the theoretical hurdles, yet variations with warped geometries reduce the toll, suggesting the universe might harbor natural analogues in exotic vacua, a conceptual refinement that soothes with its promise of feasibility in the infinite's quiet corners. Krasnikov tubes, hypothetical structures stabilizing wormhole-like paths for future traversals, propose a one-way tunnel that light follows slowly but allows later swift returns, a time asymmetric aid that aligns with causality's gentle constraints, much like leaving breadcrumbs on a familiar trail to ease the way home. Van Stockham dust, a rotating cylinder in general relativity, generating closed time-like curves, offers a cylindrical shortcut where paths loop without exotic matter, a theoretical spindle that spins infinities into accessible whirls, evoking the meditative turn of a potter's wheel shaping clay into enduring forms. Whitehead's gradient metrics, alternative gravity theories allowing variable light speeds in curved space, propose frameworks where propagation adapts locally, a fluid interpretation that softens the absolute barrier, much like how a river's pace varies with the terrain, flowing swiftly in shallows, yet deeply in bends without losing its essence. Horizon problem resolutions through inflation, where the early universe's rapid expansion smoothed disparities faster than light could, unified distant regions in thermal equilibrium, a primordial haste that set the stage for the observable cosmos's uniformity, reminding us how brief accelerations can foster lasting calm, akin to a quick breath steadying the nerves before a long rest. No-hair theorem, asserting that black holes settle into simple states defined only by mass, charge, and spin, simplifies the contrasts by erasing complex histories, a cosmic minimalism that invites us to appreciate the essence over the details, much like how a distilled fragrance captures a flower's soul in quiet potency. Firewall paradox, proposing a high-energy barrier at black hole horizons to resolve information loss, challenges smooth traversability, yet sparks debates on quantum complementarity, a fiery conceptual edge that tempers our visions of seamless warps, evoking how even the calmest paths in life may hold moments of intense clarity before settling into peace. Through it all, the universe breathes with a philosophical grace, its infinities a meditation on patience and possibility. Galaxies turn like wheels in a quiet clock, black holes cradle mysteries in their depths, nebulae glow as bridges between endings and beginnings. Time flows onward, matter cycles endlessly, and the great ocean expands without cease, hiding its faster currents, not in malice, but in the poetry of the unknown. A reminder that some secrets are meant to soothe rather than startle, inviting us to drift rather than chase. In this vast narrative, we find a kinship with the stars. Our lives, brief as they are, echo the cosmos's slow grandeur, each breath aligning with the universe's rhythm, each thought a spark in the infinite night. As you listen, let these reflections settle like dust after a stellar wind, clearing the mind for deeper peace. The Fermi paradox lingers here too, that quiet question of where other life hides in this teeming expanse, perhaps veiled by the same distances that challenge light, or connected through unseen channels we yet to fathom, a philosophical nudge toward humility, suggesting intelligence blooms in isolation, yet yearns for the stars, mirroring our own evening contemplations. Baryon acoustic oscillations, fossil imprints in the cosmic web from sound waves in the early plasma, span 490 million light-years like echoes of a primordial hum, structuring the distribution of galaxies in a way that reveals the universe's acoustic heritage, a harmonious undertone to its visual symphony. Olber's paradox, why the night sky is dark despite infinite stars, resolves through finite age and expansion. Light from distant sources hasn't reached us yet, or is redshifted away. A resolution that underscores the universe's youthfulness, inviting us to appreciate the night's velvet as a canvas for rest, where absence becomes presence in the mind's eye. In this symphony, the voids between structures, comprising 80% of volume, yet holding sway through dark energy, act as the silences in music, essential for the notes to resonate, a metaphor for how pauses in conversation deepen understanding, guiding us towards slumber's profound quiet. Great Attractor, a gravitational anomaly pulling our local supercluster at 600 kilometers m, lies shrouded in the zone of avoidance behind the Milky Way's disk, its influence felt but not seen, a hidden hand shaping motion on scales that dwarf our galaxy, evoking the subtle gravities in life, unseen loyalties or instincts that steer us toward wholeness without clamor. In contemplating these vast silences and pulls, we sense the universe's invitation to inward journey, where the infinite external mirrors the boundless internal, fostering a peace that transcends the stars themselves. Void models, alternative cosmologies where we inhabit a large underdense region explaining acceleration without dark energy, challenge the standard view, yet highlight the humility in our observations, reminding us that even in uncertainty, the cosmos encourages a gentle openness, like accepting the fog of morning as part of the day's revelation. Rare Earth hypothesis, positing that complex life requires a unique confluence of conditions, from stable orbits to protective magnetic fields, suggests our solitude might stem not from emptiness, but from the delicate tuning of habitability, a philosophical comfort that frames isolation as a cherished rarity, much like finding a quiet corner in a bustling world to reflect undisturbed. Drake equations parameters, estimating communicative civilizations by factoring stellar rates and lifespan, underscore the paradox's variables, from the fraction of planets with life to societal longevity, a contemplative framework that invites us to ponder our place without despair, viewing the silence as space for growth rather than void. SETI's listening posts, scanning radio frequencies for artificial signals amid cosmic noise, embody patient vigilance, their null results prompting reflections on communications challenges across light years, much like waiting for a distant friend's letter in an age of swift messages, teaching appreciation for the spaces between words. Zoo hypothesis, suggesting advanced civilizations observe us discreetly like animals in a preserve, adds a layer of speculative benevolence to the paradox, a narrative that soothes with its implication of watchful care in the infinite, aligning with the universe's nurturing undercurrents. Self-replicating probes, von Neumann machines that could colonize galaxies exponentially, might explain the quiet by saturating space invisibly, their presence a hidden web that respects our development, evoking how a garden's soil teems with unseen life, fostering surface blooms without intrusion. In these musings, The paradox becomes a gentle mirror, reflecting our own aspirations toward connection amid solitude, encouraging rest in the knowledge that the cosmos, in its vast patience, may hold companions just beyond the horizon of our current gaze. Great filter hypothesis, positing barriers like nuclear self-destruction or AI transcendence that civilizations rarely surpass, frames the silence as a shared trial, a philosophical trial that tempers ambition with caution, much like life's hurdles building character through quiet endurance. Transcension hypothesis, where advanced life retreats inward to compact dimensions or simulations, suggests the star's quiet as a sign of inward evolution, a meditative withdrawal that mirrors our own turn toward introspection at day's end, finding infinity within rather than without. Communication mismatch, where signals evolve beyond our detection windows, perhaps using gravitational waves or neutrinos, implies the paradox arises from mismatched languages, a cosmic etiquette that preserves mystery, akin to how unspoken understandings deepen bonds without need for words. In this expansive reflection, the Fermi question dissolves into a soothing acceptance, where the universe's silence invites us to cultivate our own light, blooming in the quiet spaces as patiently as a flower under moonlight. Simulation hypothesis, proposing our reality as a computational construct run by advanced beings, adds a layer of introspective wonder to the paradox, suggesting the quiet cosmos might be a deliberate design choice, a serene simulation where life's rarity fosters meaningful narratives, much like a well-crafted story, leaving room for the reader's imagination to fill the voids with personal resonance. Dark forest hypothesis, envisioning civilizations as wary hunters in a silent wood, hiding signals to avoid predatory threats, paints the quiet as a strategy of caution, a philosophical veil that encourages trust in the unseen benevolence, much like navigating a misty trail with faith in the path's gentle curve. Percolation theory applications to galactic colonization, modeling how self-replicating probes might spread like roots through soil without fully saturating, suggest patchy distributions explaining the silence, a sparse yet interconnected growth that mirrors how ideas propagate in human societies, fostering connections without overwhelming the landscape. In these layered speculations, the paradox evolves into a tapestry of possibilities, each thread inviting us to embrace the mystery as a companion to our own quiet reflections, where the star's hush becomes a lullaby for the curious mind. Interstellar medium's role in signal attenuation, where dust and gas absorb or scatter transmissions over galactic distances, adds a physical barrier to the quiet, a natural filter that softens broadcasts like whispers fading in a vast hall, reminding us how the cosmos itself conspires to preserve solitude for contemplation. Planetary system dynamics, where habitable worlds cluster around stable stars, yet face cosmic hazards like gamma-ray bursts, contribute to the filter's subtlety, a delicate balance that allows life to emerge but tests its endurance, much like how a sheltered valley nurtures growth, while occasional floods remind us of vulnerability's role in resilience. Astrobiological considerations, from extremophiles thriving in Earth's harsh niches to potential subsurface biospheres on icy moons, expand the scope of where life might quietly persist, suggesting the universe's silence arises not from barrenness, but from life's preference for hidden, introspective niches, evoking how personal discoveries often bloom in private moments away from the spotlight. In this deepened contemplation, the paradox transforms into an affirmation of life's quiet tenacity, encouraging us to find companionship in the cosmos's patient unfolding, where every unanswered query becomes a soft invitation to dream deeper into the night. As this tale fades like twilight into night, feel the stars settling softly around you, a celestial embrace. Thank you for journeying with dreams of gravity once more, lingering in these expanded wonders until the cosmos feels like an old friend whispering you to sleep. May peace envelop you now, carrying you into deep, restorative slumber. Good night, and may your dreams wander freely among the stars.